6 o'clock. I'm going to call this committee meeting to order. I'd like to thank Mr. Love for taking time to come up here, and Mr. Miller for returning again. Appreciate your time on that. Thank you. We'll just start with item number 1, reviewing the summary of the meeting. There's minutes in there. I haven't read it yet.
I refer to it as just a summary. I don't know if it's it would qualify as minutes exactly. It's pretty brief.
I like brief.
If you would like to adopt them, you may, or acknowledge them or something. They're not, like I said, they're not exactly there.
They look correct to me. Anybody see anything?
There's a lot said that was left out.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Unless anybody sees something they want to add or correct, we'll just call that good. Since how we have no citizens here, we'll skip item number 2.
I'm technically a citizen.
Are you here in that capacity?
No.
Okay. All right, let's move on to item 3. Just anybody would like to ask a question of Mr. Love?
Did you have anything you wanted to say to start out with? Or, okay. No PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, that's fine. I will report on, I did call 3 of your existing customers, and we are recording this, so I might not say it. I had funny there. There was an overwhelming support of you and your service. Funny I was gonna make, I think some of them would say that you could date their minor daughter. I mean, I just love you. And everybody loves Dane, so.
Good.
It was quite impressive, really.
I think the quotes that you told me was Mexico said 5 stars.
5-star.
Yeah.
Hallsville said no trouble at all. And Montgomery City said, take him even if he's not the lowest bidder. So that's pretty high praise, I would say. So.
I think Montgomery City is one of the first cities she was in that list. It was like one of the ones she's been there the longest.
So, I guess, does anybody have any? I had a couple of just curiosity type questions, and Phil kind of answered them, sort of, but do you foresee maintaining a 5-day schedule, or is it something that you think you could condense or would want to condense, or?
At this time, no, it'd stay on 5 days.
Okay. Well, that's good for us. It's just,
I mean, if you're just gonna have a truckload a day, you can ship stuff all you want. You're still gonna get a truckload of trash.
I got you.
Well, are you gonna like add on? Are you employing more people if you take on Centralia?
I'll hire 2.
Do you foresee any problems by adding? We're not large by Mexico by no means, but we're about what, maybe 1/3 of the size, half the size?
No, because I'll be here until I find the appropriate help.
What do you, like Hallsville, you do that in one day, don't you?
Correct.
We've got, was it 1,700?
1,700.
141. It's not 100. No, it's 141 customers, commercial on that, right?
will you be pretty consistent? I mean, like, well, here's the deal, this is what you call people being spoiled, but, I know they pick ours up at like 7:30, 8 o'clock on Monday mornings. And pretty consistent like that, because we hate putting it out too early, and I know a lot of people do too, but what would be your, so if you were gonna pick up on Monday, it could be anytime Monday. Is that how you all do it? Are you pretty, I mean, if you're on rural route, whatever, you're pretty well, they can almost pinpoint you to the hour when you're gonna come by. Is that kinda how it is?
We'll be within 15 minutes.
15 minutes, I like that. So you run
Unless
down the road,
unless
hey,
you
hey.
truck breaks or something,
Yeah.
it'll be within 15 minutes. It may be a lot different than what your schedule is now as far as time frame.
That's what I was gonna ask, what time of day will you think you'll start routes?
I'll start when you tell me to, but I would prefer to start with the houses at 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
That way we can get stuff wrapped up around the schools, get the main drags done. That's what I would like.
That's the night before then for me.
Do you normally hit commercial first, or you hit residential first?
The plan would be to get all the commercial done by 5 a.m., start the houses by 5, and be out of town by 8:30.
So you'd be doing it with one truck?
Correct.
Not that I don't care. So you do commercial before 5?
Let's just say, for instance, you were to get this contract, would the city, would you all work together for the first 2 weeks, kinda, this is how, or you just do it?
I would,
I would say we let ride, whoever come right along with the guys and kind of see
This is
where the
how-
route, this is what route we're running each day, and then leave it up to him to how he wants to
Change it if you wanted to. you know.
well, as far as the houses would be on the same day. How I run it may be different time-wise. But however I run it, I'm gonna run it the same way every week.
So the general public might not even know there's a change.
Other than time.
They more than likely, 90% of them would not even know,
and
except for the
Yeah,
code.
If we told them that they had to get their trash out by 5 a.m. or put it out the night before, which 90% of the people are gonna put it out the night before, that would be the biggest change.
There would be a big change there, wouldn't it?
not for a lot of people,
Right.
but I mean, will be for some people, yes.
Especially if they're used to dropping it off at noon because they know the guy comes at 12:15.
What if you forgot? Could we call you?
We won't forget.
You get 3 graces. I don't know.
What if what if we forgot?
It's me. I'm in charge of trash.
No, I
I mean, I forget even on the other every once in a while.
Probably have different, probably not as lenient as our current crew is. If the trash is not out, it's not likely to, for them to come back and get it.
How often, Phil, do people tell you that they forgot to put it out? Would you please come get it?
That they honestly tell us they forgot.
That they honestly tell
not
you.
very often.
Yeah.
Honestly,
No,
they
just
sneak
sneak
it
it
right out there.
And majority of the time when they drive back by, they can say, no, that wasn't out. I mean, they just flat no. I mean,
That's how they
you're not gonna just drive by a pile of trash sitting there.
JC and I were talking earlier about a gentleman who called in Fulton. I'm not saying this. He said, I forgot to take my trash out, and my wife's chewing on me for it now. Is there, how much are you charged to come back and get it? And because he told the truth, is it okay for me to tell the story? I won't say who it was. They came and got it that one time.
I mean, we do. I mean, every now and then we'll have people call and say they just flat forgot, missed us, seen us go by, and we come back and get it. And those, we don't mind, but ones that we know, obviously know they didn't, it's annoying.
So,
Well, it happens to me about 15 times a year, and I never call. It just,
You just wait till the next week.
in fact, I think you can pick it up the next day once. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
how would you handle the person who didn't set it out or claims that they set
I'm the
it out?
same way. Whenever I'm being called a liar, that's a hard thing to choke. If you miss me, I'll help you out, but if you say that it was out and I missed you, then you're probably gonna have to wait till next week.
Holidays, I mean, it's would be the same thing on holiday, or do you work through
We
holidays?
work them all but Christmas.
You do? Except Christmas, huh?
Yep.
You don't work on Christmas, do you?
If I had it my way, I would, but I don't. The guys let me get away with that.
They won't pick up our trash if we forget, if you work them on Christmas, that's not bad.
There was one comment that I think Montgomery City said, he said, you know, I love how he doesn't take holidays off, because then you don't have that backup, you know, trying to catch up for 2 days. That was one of their comments, he said, he really likes it.
So we, on Christmas, when you do have, we'll have a double route, or how
No.
many?
Every town's different. I know Mexico, whatever day it is, they have us do that day on Saturday.
Okay,
The rest of the towns, I just push everything one day.
okay.
Mexico don't wanna do that because then it changes everybody's schedule in town versus one route in town. So that would be completely up to you all if you wanted me to say if it landed on Monday, do it the Saturday before, or Tuesday, and then if it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, do it on Saturday, or just push everybody one day. But it's only 1 week out of the year that you have to mess with it.
That we'll have to take out a special ad on, if the board no longer chooses things, you'll have to take a big ad out, say, your trash will be picked up on Thanksgiving Day, your trailer trash will be picked up on the Friday after Thanksgiving Day, because that will take a lot of notice for them. That would be a shock to their system the first time.
Not to some people, they put it out and they think we're picking it up anyhow.
The people who never pay attention will be fine. The people who pay attention, they're good.
Is it working pretty well as far as, the early start, as far as other cities, any major complaints, as far as noise and things like that, or those people get used to it and get their trash out the night before and don't worry about it?
And some people say, well, what about the dog house? Well, if it's a one-time deal, we're gonna pick everything up anyway. If it's the same dog at the same stop every single week, we'll let the customer know, hey, there's a problem
There's a
with
problem.
the issue here.
Right,
But
right.
if it's a one-time deal, we're gonna pick up the mess anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Okay. I just didn't know if there might be any noise complaints or anything,
To my knowledge, no.
but,
It's not like anything. I'm sure the train
oh,
bothered everybody whenever they move into a town or something, but once they're there, after a month,
right.
the train don't wake them up anymore.
My daughter still hears the train to it.
Oh, yes.
Is there any exceptions to the way you'll pick up the trash in town? If it's all bagged, you'll pick it up, if it's
The only
in
thing that I
55
would-
gallon drums, will you dump it, or?
The only thing I would prefer, anything that's over 44 gallon to be bagged. I'm not saying it has to be that way, I'm asking.
We encourage them in we tell them to do already is inside the, in the 96 gallon carts that they bag it. It's not supposed to be loose in
And if we,
there. Everybody follows that to the T, right, Phil?
Now, will your truck pick up the containers, the plastic containers?
no, but we will if we have to.
Your preference would be to phase out the 96 gallon.
No, I don't have a problem with the 96 gallon.
Oh.
If they could just bag the trash in it.
Yeah.
So we pull the bags out, and if there's loose stuff in it, they leave it, and we don't know.
Yeah,
So they can still have their cart, they just put bags in it.
right. Okay.
So no
You don't
loose
want, you
stuff
don't want
in
to tip the car.
If there's loose stuff in it, we just won't, we'll leave it, and it'll be up to them to clean it out and bag it up.
It's a time management thing with the carts. Dumping them, running back and forth and stuff.
So if somebody's moving out, they can set everything out by the curb and it's on you.
One bulky item.
You'll get it all.
Just that one bulky
one
item?
One
bulky
bulky items. Everybody's allowed one bulky item for a week.
Well,
So is a mattress considered just one bulky item,
Correct.
or would it be a bed?
And the one bulky item per week is the $8.85 price, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And that's an option, that's a choice you guys have to make.
Or you could go with the 825 and get your 2 cleanups a year.
Yeah.
But to me, it's better if you go with the every week, because that means you're allowed, who's gonna have 52 items on cleanup? You're getting 52 items a year to set out.
What if somebody puts carpet out? Will you take that?
If it's in, well, that's really construction.
Huh?
That's really construction. But if you're doing a small room and you roll it up in 4-foot sections, and treat the trash can right, and it's bundled, we're gonna pick it up.
You just leave it, don't you? Does that happen in Mexico? They put out their whole house, the dressers
People come in
and
with
wash
straight cups
machines
and
and.
dump it on the street.
I've seen some pretty, here lately, I've seen some mountainfuls of stuff.
Yeah,
It's getting ridiculous.
well, we've been charging people, if they put out a bulky item, we're charging them $5. And 2 bulky items, $10. And if they get more than that, 3 bulky items or a huge pile, it's $15. If it's just, if they have what we estimate at more than 2 96-gallon carts worth of trash, we've been charging them an extra $5. So, I mean, I guess that's the question, is that what, we can work something like, that's what our current ordinance says, so we can always work something.
Well, I have no problem with the amount of what I call household trash.
Right.
But if you're gonna go in and remodel your house.
Right.
And expect to set construction waste on the street, that's two
Right.
different issues.
We say the same thing, but then we go and pick it up.
So if it's all construction out there,
Right.
then no, to me, a bulk item is a couch,
Right.
anything that you would live on in your house, not the wall,
Right.
you know, or the ceiling or the floor.
Well, and if they put like pieces of drywall out, we have in the past, we've been getting a little stingier about that.
To me, I just think construction waste is a different issue than your household trash.
So what if somebody moves out of a rental property and the homeowner goes in there and cleans it out? They can just set one bulky item out there a week?
Per week?
Or, you would rent a dumpster to them if they wanted to clean it.
I would prefer the dumpster, but yes, I will still honor the one bulky item per week. If you wanna save it up in the garage and every single week, set bulky item out, not a problem.
What type of dumpster?
It'll range
Are
anywhere
you talking one of the big metal ones or a smaller one?
Whatever you want, whatever you need.
be anywhere from a 2-yard all the way up to the biggest thing they can.
It would be neat, if we could get a price list of different sizes.
It's in there.
It's in there.
That way people, like what you just said, well, yeah.
He's got a price in there just for like a one-time cleanup.
Now, are we doing the loaner dumpster anymore?
Those will be gone.
Well, we could, but we're gonna have to pay him.
Oh, you got.
If the city wants to continue the loaner dumpster program, that would be something that we would take out of our administrative fee. And that's, we've got 1,700, we would do about 45 a
I
year.
actually got one of those right now.
45 a year times,
So less than one a week.
yeah,
That's not bad.
yeah.
Well, this is.
And basically, we've got 2, and they're usually circulating, and usually somebody keeps
Plus
it
your
from
tonnage
others.
on dump.
One time deal, $110. Hell, that's cheap on
Plus your tonnage, right? Your tonnage is not on your price, right?
For
For
roll off, for a
For
roll off.
roll off?
Well, the price is on there, but no, as far as the rear loads, that's everything.
Times tonnage.
Not on the rear loads.
The only one of those that you add tonnage to is the roll off.
Oh,
Would be down here.
that's down here.
Right here.
So you can get an 8-yard one time for $110 a week, 1 week.
No, you're talking about two different issues. You're talking about,
That's his cleanup price. You're probably looking.
no, you're looking at commercial pricing versus
Yeah,
construction pricing for, we're talking about two different things here.
Okay, so I'm remodeling my house, I need an 8-yard
Can I
dumpster.
show him,
Absolutely.
do you have
Yeah,
everything
just-
up there?
I guess just what he just.
Because there's some additional proposal parts. that-
Landlords, right here, kicked out the renter
Here would be the prices on what we're discussing.
for right here.
All this, from here to here,
It's for the residential people.
could be for anybody.
But what, one time for, like if you're
It
remodeling.
could be a
your-
commercial place too, it wouldn't
Right.
matter.
if-
For a 6-yard construction charge, that means you can get your carpets out there, your toilets and all that, and you can pick it all up for $120.
Plus the $25 delivery.
$150, you do. That's not, That's not bad.
But if it's not construction, then on that same size can would be.
So if it's construction, you're on the other sheet, aren't you?
It's two different pricing.
Yeah.
Here's for what I would call regular trash. and there would be-
So if
Just for the
you're,
construction.
so if you're a landlord and you have a renter who leaves a bunch of stuff in the apartment, but it's not construction,
That's
that would be
residential.
60 plus
Correct.
25, so $85. Okay.
Yes.
Because in Centralia, that's what you're gonna see a lot of, just, you're gonna have furniture, you see it, washing machines, stuff like that.
We just dealt with one a couple days ago, landlord put out, had a pile that went from that door to Jim Lee.
And they just call ahead, right, and you bring it to them, and
Everything out of the
I'm
house.
assuming it'll all be done
Yeah.
through the city.
Yeah,
You
we-
call the city.
call the city, they,
That's a work order and tells me what I'm supposed to do and it's taken care of.
that's not bad.
Yeah, they talk to the same gals in the office. We learn their system and do a little training.
So a lot of that information could be on the website, maybe,
Oh, yeah.
without too much trouble to,
Yes.
and then, and there would definitely need to be, this is some kind of, all I can think of is a public service announcement, that's not really correct, but just getting the knowledge out, getting the, educating the public, so that way when the landlord, you know, he knows that if I go and set it in my front yard, it's gonna sit there. You know, and then maybe they'll arrange, and then he'll drop a dumpster, but then they're gonna have to put it in the dumpster and pay for that, and then finally get it.
Now, will that be on their bill, or will they have to pay them direct?
Yeah, it'd be, we'd bill that and then they bill us. That's the way I
All
would.
building would be through the city.
Yeah, all building would be through the city.
Okay.
And then it's just like, Boone County, when we have a, building permit, they do the residential monthly and the commercial monthly, that would be all, that would just, go through like it is now. They send us a bill, we bill the customers. We're gonna bill the customers more than he's billing us, so that we have enough to pay for the gals in there, and originally, we may need to go slightly more than $250 over his price to cover, so that we have enough money for tub grinding and that stuff, because I'm not sure but if we take the $885 price, and that's part of the handout from today, we're still gonna cut the customers will actually see a reduction in their cost. The residential customers will see a reduction in their cost. Some of the commercial customers, some of the commercial customers will probably would see an increase in their costs anyway. We've been essentially, I don't know if I can say this is an exact cost expense, but our rates for commercial have been exceptionally low. So their rates for 1 2-yard dumpster a week would go up. But there are some who would actually be able to reduce their rates, because picking up 2-yard dumpsters 5 times a week, he could do that cheaper by having a larger container. So larger customers will see a decrease in their bill for the commercial. So just so you know, getting a whole,
So somebody that's got 2 dumpsters that gets it dumped 5 days a week,
yeah.
they're gonna get a bigger dumpster?
Well,
It could, they could do that option, they wouldn't have to.
Right.
Whatever works out best for that.
But then what happens if they do, but they own them dumpsters? Cause all the commercial people, they've gotta buy their own dumpsters, right?
Yeah. I guess
No,
so.
no.
In the old way.
The old way they did, but 8-yard dumpster, he would set it and the rent's figured in that.
Well, no, he's talking about,
So what do they do with these 2 dumpsters that they
They've got
just
2
bought?
dumpsters now.
If somebody just bought 2 brand new dumpsters,
Well,
and then they've gotta eat that, and then
if they
and then pay more for their trash
Well,
for a bigger dumpster?
I'm not gonna demand them to do anything.
Right.
It's their choice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So if they wanna stay where they're at for 2 yards or more,
Now, what about tires? What do you do about tires?
we don't take tires.
if they're
If they're quartered or sidewall,
yeah,
If they're cut in half?
it's gotta be quartered or sidewall now. I
you,
don't know, I've never heard about the half as far as.
If you
we'll
cut it-
still a better answer on that.
if you cut it like
No.
like a bagel,
Gotta be.
Quartered or sidewall,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
if you cut it like a bagel,
If you cut it,
They do cut the tops out of it.
what they do is they take it, they got a saw.
Quarter on the stuff.
with a blade in it, and they cut it directly in half, so then they come out with two halves.
And you cannot take that to
You
a
can't take
landfill.
that to landfill.
We take them to Columbia all the time.
Then it's illegal.
I don't think so. I think that that is okay if you cut them all the way through in the middle like a bagel.
I've never heard of that. If that's truly the case, then I won't have a problem. If it's legal, I'll do it.
You don't pick up anything, I guess the tire shops in Mexico you don't pick up, right?
We do.
Well, do they have tires in them?
Nope.
You checked?
He's not allowed to take a tire that's not cut properly.
Well, yeah, nobody.
Yeah, right.
So if the law is that it's just gotta be chopped in half, I have no problem with that.
Pretty certain that that's okay.
My understanding was both sidewalls are quartered. I've never heard about the half.
Back when, I don't know, unless they've changed
Because
it.
you're talking about a half. Sidewall still don't connect.
So you
It's
got
like,
two
here's
halves
the
of
tire.
tires.
Here's the tire, you're talking about cutting like half of, no.
It'll
No,
be
so you got
two,
two-
No, it'd be like like you cut a piece
Slice
of
it.
bread, you slice the bread right in half.
like a bagel.
So then you'd have this top
Well,
and this
okay, then
top.
I'm gonna say you're probably right on that.
Yeah.
So you're cutting it down the middle of the
Yeah.
dumpster.
You're cutting it all the way around.
Yes. No, not like two letter C's. We're talking
Yes.
about two O's.
I'm gonna say that's probably
Two,
okay.
two, 10 tires. Okay.
Right. Yeah, because
I thought you meant half this way with.
Oh, no.
having
No,
served
he's
on
cutting
this.
around the circle, yeah.
Yeah.
Around the middle of the tire
Yeah.
of the actual tread.
Yeah.
You can do that, you say.
I believe that would probably be okay.
Yeah, unless they've changed it, that was always allowed.
Yeah, I misunderstood what you
And
said.
you'll pick up those.
When
And
I
that
served
would
on
just
that
go
committee,
in
that
the
was,
tire shop's regular dumpster, or
Yes,
which is what they're doing now.
yes.
And as people's dumpsters get old and
It'd be completely up to them if they wanna rent one or they could buy one on their own.
let me ask you this, and this is off the cuff, you do not have to have an answer tonight. Would you consider buying any decent 2-yard dumpsters from people if you, to help them set, I mean, I know you can't buy, you don't have,
I
you
have
don't need
no problem with
140.
whatever the fair price is, absolutely.
Okay. So if they could save money with an 8-yard dumpster, tip 2 or 3 times a week instead of 2, and they're,
Whatever
wouldn't
the
give
fair
them-
market value of that can,
Right.
I have no problem with.
if they got a 12-year-old can, it's rusted out, you're
It's worth
talking,
nothing.
yeah, right. Okay.
Well, that's just gonna help you out too, if you get a bigger dumpster, you're not theirs.
Right, but I mean, I'll work with that situation.
Right. But if they just brought a brand new one, then you put it pretty close to brand new price.
I would think would have to be fair, yes.
Yeah, whatever that is for you. So.
Yes.
Okay. And, you know, if, yeah,
I didn't look back through the proposal, but Phil and I, we, at least in the glancing at it, we didn't notice commercial cardboard pickup. Maybe we missed it.
I don't.
It wasn't in there because it was stated,
It's an
not to
option.
bid on it.
It's an option. They could have bid, but I don't think,
It wasn't mandatory.
yeah, it was not mandatory. So we could keep doing it. We could, I think we might be able to
At
find
this
out.
point right now, you basically have no interest in doing.
Unless you tell me I need to have interest.
And that's what I didn't know. I mean, ultimately, I don't know if that's how much of a recommendation this committee's supposed to make versus just,
That is part of, okay, so there's the price, it's 50%. There is the, it's that third 15%. If that's an important option to a member of the committee, that they be able to, then you would give the city more points because our plan is to keep doing what we're doing.
yeah. And I gave the city, I mean, I filled out a little bit of that because I gave the city full points on that because we obviously,
Yeah,
you know, I mean, that, the amount of service that we have is
right.
what we're used to.
This committee makes a recommendation to the Board of Aldermen, and the Board of Aldermen make the final decision. Of course, we have 3 of the Board of Aldermen here, and then the mayor.
Right.
But, you know, when you bring the other, well, 2 in, then they change the mind.
Not even 100% certain myself, but as far as like the, and I personally kind of like the curbside recycling 2 days a month.
Mhm.
You know, I know it'll change a little bit from every other week, that's fine. And then the rest of the trash service is very similar. There are definitely some things that will be different, and I think people have a little bit of, few moans and groans here and there, but I think it'll just be a matter of getting used to that.
Oh, yeah,
It
anything we
seems like
change.
it seems like pretty much there is some type of option for every service that we offer. It's just that in some cases, you know, we just do it, you know, and where now they would maybe have to pay for that service. And I think, I mean, just like the construction materials and things like that, where we have kind of done it, you know, for the most part, for nothing for a long time, and now we're kind of instituting a few charges, and that'll be a definite charge. I personally think that's a good thing. It's maybe not a great thing. I mean, sure, it's great to be able to just set out wherever you want and have it picked up, but the amount of money that's cost over the years, though, I don't know. Guess we've covered it, but it seems like, if I'm thinking correctly, probably the only service that Danes right now has not quoted is the commercial cardboard pickup. That he has, there is some option there for pretty much everything else the city offers. And if the decision was to, well, we don't want to have the city do any of it. We want Danes to take care of everything. And it sounds like that he would try to make that happen.
I thought that's why we were doing this, so the city didn't have to do nothing, because we
Well-
were losing manpower in the street department.
That's true, that's true. Yes. The manpower for, yeah, I mean, if the board, if you guys wanted to do so, you could select, I don't think there would be any, I'm sure, I know Danes would, but if you wanted the city to continue, if you feel strongly that you want every other week recycling, as we're doing it right now, the only one who offered that is the city. We would be willing to, we could make that work at $2.50. So you'd have to add that price on to the residential trash. We could make that work at $2.50.
You do recycling, don't you?
Yeah, his would be slightly different. As Mark was saying, it'd be 2 times a month. And
Right.
the whole town would be done on that one day a month. And then the second day of the month, the whole town would be done. And that, his cost for that is less than ours.
Right.
So if you went with that proposal, if you use,
He quoted $1.30.
Yeah.
$1.30, and we
Yeah.
quoted $2.50.
yeah,
Right.
right.
Right, and so he definitely, I'm just, partly it's a question, that it seems like to me that the only thing that was not covered in his proposal, that there's not an option for, is the cardboard, is a commercial cardboard pickup.
I believe that's correct.
And, it's just, I
We
mean,
we could continue, we don't need the trash truck for that. We have a truck that's, I mean, you guys know, but
Right.
it's so that we could continue doing that. Or what I would do is I'd start talking to the handy shop. I talked to the group up in Moberly. I talked to other organizations to see if they'd have any interest in taking that away from us. I mean, that's.
and I guess, I mean, in the little amount of time we've had to think about it, it just seems to me that if we're gonna go, we go all in.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that's why we were doing it.
Do you,
Yeah.
I mean,
Because of the
it's
manpower.
still, I mean, even the cost, I mean, because to me, I mean, yeah, that is one reason, is the amount of personnel that it will free up. You strictly just have a street department, and they are the street department. They have nothing to do with sanitation whatsoever. But, I also know, I mean, there's the different costs in there, the bids for brush and all that
Right.
kind of thing. So,
And we don't do that, we didn't make an offer for that, there's too many calculations to give it a price.
Right.
If you guys, that is a service that's not offered now, obviously.
Right.
So,
I mean, that's really even, truly would be above and beyond what we do now, to a certain extent. We really don't do a regular route of that at all. And I just,
and his offer would be to do one time a month. If you, and the other part of that is, when we do brush, we do it after a storm, and we take it at whatever they drag out to the curb.
Yeah.
What he's offering is more like what cities typically do if they do a yard waste collection, which is, what was the length of the bundles?
6 foot.
You go to large 6 foot bundles, tie up, or the craft bags full of leaves and brush and nothing, no trash. So, that would be something.
I don't remember what his quote was on that.
$2
Yeah.
a month for a residential customer, only for residential customers.
I don't know if that's,
I know Band-Aid tried it for a year, and
and I don't see that working very well here in Centralia. I don't think it's an option that I personally would choose on this. But I
How
just
long did you
continue
do
with
Mexico?
that.
How long have you been doing Mexico?
I think it's
12 years?
Yeah.
How long?
12.
12? Oh my God. I was gonna ask you, what was the biggest problem when you started from the old type to when you all started? But my God, 12 years ago, who cares? I thought it'd be 3 or 4 years ago. Forget that question.
Well, Hallsville, in 14.
So what problems do you, what is the thing that when you take over a town that's been doing it themselves, what's the
You're
biggest?
gonna have people not setting it out, this and that, and it's gonna last for 3 weeks. You're gonna have complaints. Then after that, you're not gonna have any. Because once you run it the same way every week, everybody eventually figures out, here's the new system, this is what time they're going. But anybody's gonna come in and say that there's not gonna be complaints the first couple of weeks, it's wrong.
No, you know, and there, any people have their relationship to their
Yeah.
trash service is much more personal than their relationship to their water service.
I
or
would
electric
agree
service.
100%.
So, I really did.
Yeah, that's my experience.
And if you're, that's what I said, if you're not within that 15-minute window, you're gonna have complaints. Where's he at?
We have trouble, I'm sure. We change crews, don't we?
Oh, yeah, we have somebody gone, somebody else is on there, they'll drive the truck a different route, I mean.
They kind of changed the routes
The
about
trash
6
can in a
months ago.
different spot.
Yeah.
You put it here, not here.
We made a slight alteration in the routes about, was it 6, 7 months ago? And we got a lot of phone calls. Because they used to get their trash picked up at 8:45 to 8 to 9, you know, somewhere in there. They got started, or they came by at 7, like, how could I, suppose you say that you're gonna have to have about 7, they get mad, or, yeah, so any alteration in route. Because we, you know, as we add more parts of town, we have to change our routes slightly, so.
And when school gets in session, we end up changing it sometimes if something happens and we can't get started right on time and trying to avoid school traffic, so we do that quite a bit ourselves.
Any alteration. But yeah, you will hear complaints when we first chart. If we change anything, I guarantee you will get calls.
Just have them wear a hat with a C on it.
But it'll be short-lived.
But, right, but it will,
Yeah,
I mean, the guy who's done this in 20 different towns, or at least 10 different towns where the city was already doing it, is telling us it'll be 3 weeks and done.
Well, I did notice, I mean, he had 18 towns listed in his as far as reference. And then, you know, T-Mac had gotten letters from 3 smaller towns and not too far from us. And I looked online at city of Moberly, Brookfield, Boonville, Ashland, and Bloomfield. Every one of them had contract with someone. None of them did city trash. It was hard to tell on a Macon and Shelbina's and Madison's website. It was hard to, they didn't even really have much of a website on a couple of those. But I could not find a community, you know, other than Fulton and Columbia in the central Missouri area. I mean, you know,
California
you want
does?
to use the Clarence County Conference or just Boone County, you know, and, you know, so I'm sure there are some,
Yeah.
but, man, it's just, the cities are not doing it.
We have had excellent luck with injuries. We had one guy with a bad back, but actually the bad back problem had nothing to do with trash service. one of the reasons cities get out of it is for the risk. You get a lot of risk for injury lifting, a lot of risk for injury getting cuts. So if that's one of the things that is attractive to me is here's a guy who does this all day long and he's willing to take that risk. And of course he has to have insurance and that's all provided for him. But, no offense, you would be going from you kind of give a Cadillac service or very to not better than I don't know, something like the slightly excellent service, but he won't baby them as much as we do. Now, that's probably one of the reasons why our rates are higher. If we might be able to shave ours down, and that's one of the reasons I started doing that thing about charging for extra collection, because I was looking at trying to get keep our rates at a decent level, because it's the going back and it's getting the truck going back out. Those are very inefficient things for running a trash route. Now it's easier for us because our truck is here. That's hard, that's one of the things where we can do easier than he can, because if you got a truck going through another city nearby, they can get something.
Well, we're gonna be in town every day.
So
And you're getting, for the first time ever, clean up curbside, not where everybody has to haul their stuff out to the old landfill.
So, how many bags of trash would somebody put out in front of their house before you blow the whistle?
I think everybody knows what's real and what's not real. If the customer has 4 bags every week, and all of a sudden out of the blues, he's got 50, come on. So, I mean, common sense has to come into play somewhere.
Right. So when you get the house of 50, what do you want to do with that?
I'm gonna give everybody probably a one-time pass.
Okay.
And then
One
after
time
that,
per life or one time per year?
I'm gonna say one-time pass, as in,
For life.
yeah, as in,
Yeah.
that house got me, I'll clean it all up, make a note, but happens again, they're gonna pay.
So the answer to the person to the landlord who we've been just now charging $15 and we pick it all up. The answer now would be you need to get a dumpster.
I'll do it one time, and then you're gonna get a dumpster.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Now, if you look at what's on Allen Street,
That's
what do you expect me to do with that? Pick it all up?
Well, they're actually not paying trash service right now.
No, but I'm asking.
Yeah.
Just to give a situation, that's not that big of a pile to
We wouldn't go behind the sidewalk.
me. Do you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah. No, I know exactly.
So on something similar to that, what do you expect of me, even on the first time? Pick it all up?
If that was like bagged trash, not automotive parts, I would expect you to. I would treat it like you're talking about. If you're willing to do it one time free, I think that's great. I think it's smart. Next time, ask. What he's got there, I would not be offended if we haven't picked it up, because that's not household trash. That is a junkyard. Now we're going to eventually have to do something. They're sending a letter because what he's got is an abatement issue, and we should be picking it up and then charging him the cost, because that's a health hazard. On something like that, if it's in front of the curb, if it's by the curb, and I think what we do is say we're not picking up and say you need to get a dumpster on something like that, but that's an unusual case because that's not household trash. I know exactly.
But that's what I'm talking about as far as not household trash. 'Cause we have
Separate and
stuff like that all the
sold,
time, everywhere.
Right.
And
Right.
to me, I'm saying that's not household trash.
Right. And if people have businesses out of town, they bring trash in, that's something we've, I think, been too lax on, because, first of all, technically, in the strictest interpretation of the law, that's illegal. You're not supposed to bring your trash from one site to another site. You're essentially,
You're transferring it.
it's basically you're creating a micro transfer station.
Yeah.
So,
there's a lot of things legal that you're not supposed to do that people do.
I
So you bring trash in, it's, to me, that's a.
If it's a bag and you can't tell, I don't care. There's a. Can I tell about our neighbor across the street in Fulton, the city hall? Yeah, there was an elected official in Fulton who would regularly bring across the street of the county, would regularly bring their household trash in their car and throw it in the dumpster. I guess they didn't have trash service at their house. You're not supposed to do that. Nobody did anything about it. We kept it taken care of. If that's what you're talking about, that's fine. But if you're bringing in, you know,
Truckloads of
Couch and
construction.
chair.
Whatever's up there, yeah, motors and everything else.
oh, that's a unique case. The guy's that's a unique.
That's crap iron there.
Yeah. By the same token, if you think you can make money off of it and you want to pick it up, I'm kind of hoping somebody does that.
I'll charge and pick it all up and make it neat for them.
Yeah. But we can talk on if we get weird ones. Well, and there will be. We can work on something like that.
If it's borderline iffy, the first time around, I'm just gonna take it all, and then I'll let the city know, here's the address, this is what happened, if it happens again,
Yeah.
you know up front of what's going on.
But if there's a motor with oil leaking out of it, you can't pick that up anyway. I mean, I just
Well, I don't think we should be taking any more security.
right. Because that's yeah. So I can't remember if there's any.
There would be a certain amount of judgment your driver and crew would
Yes.
take, and, I mean, if it's something they normally
If it's,
get, and it's the first time, and they're gonna do it, and they're gonna make a note of it,
it's gonna have to be something like what's on Allen Street.
right?
For us not to
them
pick up the
say,
first time.
Yeah,
Right.
that's just not happening, period.
Right.
See, we wouldn't go up in the yard,
And I-
get what's on the curb and that'd be it.
Well, you run a risk of liability if you walk up in the yard, because then you're taking their property, whether or not it should be out in the front yard or not. But if you take somebody's bicycle that's all mangled up and you throw it in the back of the truck and it's up by the house, there's a decent chance they're gonna call you next day and say, I want $25 or I want $100 to buy a new bike for my kid because you threw the other one away, he just wrecked.
I've had to pay for a barbecue grill. That's rotted out, sitting at the curb with their trash can, that's where they barbecued at, is what they told the judge. And the judge said I had to pay for the barbecue grill.
You've probably gotten to pick something up that was a little too close to the curb and you said, oh, it's supposed to be trash, and it was somebody's favorite toy or something like that.
Well, they say that, I don't know if it was or wasn't, it was just a way
Right,
for them
but
to
it
get
happened.
something for free.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they're just out of luck.
Yeah.
You know, I tell a story. You know what the hardest thing for me to throw away one time was? A broken down trash can. I had a broken trash can and a good trash can, and Jimmy kept leaving me both trash cans. I want to get rid of the broken trash can.
We
He
have,
kept giving it back to me.
we have thrown away trash cans that were damaged and people will have a fit.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We will not throw them away unless people tell us to throw them away.
That's when I finally called him. I said, no, get rid of this one. I don't want to.
No, if there's nothing, no, we're gonna leave it.
You have to cut them in half.
Always.
Long ways, exactly.
Well, it sounds like the cardboard, the commercial cardboard is something that you're not used to dealing with.
I mean, it's something I could do, but it would have to be set up on that.
I mean, that would be a
twice month.
separate,
It'd
yeah,
have to be on it twice a month. Deal where, when I got the truck in town, recycling, direct in.
so that sounds like that could be something that,
We can
that
we
would
can
be
do it
one
until
thing
the
that's, it's very likely that the city may end up with that.
Well, I'm
That's a
gonna-
service that the city wants to continue to offer that, other than possibly a handy shop, so on and so forth.
Does Mexico do their own cardboard recycling? Do they pick
They don't have anything to do with it. I mean, the hand shop has,
the handy shop
Cans
goes
everywhere,
around, does
but-
Mexico?
but the city doesn't have anything to do
It's
with
all drop off there. And right? Do they offer
No.
curbside?
it. They got little panels,
Yeah.
you know, at
Yeah.
different places, and
Yeah.
they go around and pick it up.
Yeah, the alley cats, do they still have those too?
I call them just like
Yeah.
cow panels that are squared off, and people throw their boxes in there, and they come around and pick them up.
Do they do any other towns?
Handy shop?
I
Yes.
don't,
I mean, is
They
that-
used to.
Is that an option for us?
Yes.
I know Fulton does.
the handy shop picks up, the way it works right now is we collect it, we bale it, and the handy shop gets it from Hubble.
Yeah,
Now,
they come up, they pick up the bales at the grocery stores, and at Hubble, and they get ours, and so I think everybody's just giving the bales right now.
Now, would they wanna go and do this, they might not do that for free, they might wanna charge, we may be stuck with it for a while. We don't get as much as we used to.
It's about a bale, maybe a little more than a bale a week.
And we always give it away. A bale of cardboard's, I don't know what it's worth these days. It used to- 107?
It's gone up.
Yeah, I've heard it as low as 35 back. in
Last time I
2000.
heard, that's what I heard, at 30s.
Oh, it's been a little higher than that for a while, but,
$170 a bale of cardboard.
yeah.
For a ton.
Well, for a ton? Oh, so it's half that, because the bale's maybe 1,000.
Yeah, I think we're running 800 to 1,000.
Okay, so yeah. So that would be another option. If we're gonna keep baling it, see if we can make back some of our costs with selling the bale for some. It was like, Mobill's pretty far, I don't know how close they're coming out here. Moberly does that, but they're getting away from it. Handy shop. And then there's for a bale of cardboard, I don't know, we figure something. Or slowly phase it out, or charge what it costs us to do it.
I know this is also a deal, but landfills in the next 15, 20 years, what's the future of them? Because trash is getting to be more and more and more. It takes a lot of room and time and money to make you just can't make a landfill overnight with all the regulations, can you?
No. But I don't see it being an issue.
Now, you take yours east, right? And then where else is there a landfill besides those two in this general mid-Missouri area?
It's got,
Making it.
Columbia, maybe.
Macon.
Macon has one?
LaGrange. There's a transfer station in Boonville.
There's a landfill in Jeff City.
Yep.
St. Louis has Fred Weber and,
Got two, I don't know the name of the other one.
yeah.
Well, every town used to have one almost, back in the day.
Oh, I know.
And now they're just,
But regardless of who hauls the trash, it's gonna be the city or whoever to deal with that landfill
That's
regardless.
gonna be, always there.
Landfill rates, when I was working for the solid waste district, and we went to the National Recycling Coalition meeting in San Francisco. They diverted 50 to 75% of their trash from, only about 20 to 40% of the trash was going to a landfill. They had to haul their trash over through a mountain pass and pay $135 a ton to bury it though. So it was worth it to do, and they also were on the ocean, so they ran their own Berkeley, and so they ran their own recycling operations, and they had composting for food and everything else like that. They had a 3-can system. So the cost of the tip in like Montana and Colorado is probably still about $20 or $30 a ton. I've seen as low as 16 in Colorado back in the early 2000s. So it's all about, it starts at the landfill, and then the prices go back from. So I mean, what you were talking about is exactly right. If his landfill costs go up in 5 years, when we look at this again, his costs will be higher. But
and it probably will go up, won't it?
No, there's no doubt.
Yeah, Columbia's gone up
A lot since over the last 8 years.
$10 I think over the last 8 years.
$32.50 when I was
Yeah.
there in '90, and it was $32.50 in 2008, 2009, and now it's 40. It's going to be over $46 next year.
It's starting to.
Yeah.
No, they were. Oh, yeah.
Well, out of respect to everybody's time, any more questions for Mr. Love? And we sincerely thank you for coming up.
You're welcome.
Do you have any other questions for us?
Other than maybe the trucks. Which,
I'm not gonna give you a definite yes or no yet. We're gonna evaluate those more.
it doesn't matter to me one way or the
I
other.
know,
I'm
yeah.
just curious if I gotta
Yeah.
take them off your hand or not.
You will not be forced to.
Okay,
I mean, if that's the best price, then yes. If we think we can get more, then no.
okay.
Unless you pay us to collect the trash. But we might give you a yes tonight. I'll tell you that.
We'll give you the good.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, are we ready to move forward then, or more discussion? You're welcome to hang around, or we can.
Well, while Dane's
I'll stay here as long as you need me here.
while he's still here, one of the things is we're ready and prepared, and it would not hurt my feelings at all if you said the city is going to continue doing trash service. Phil and I have looked at this inside and out, and we can't do it as if it is for as low a price as he can. And again, the stuff goes from the landfill back up. He owns a transfer station, and we do not. That gives him a competitive advantage. And he's, you know, if we start picking up the trash at 5 a.m., we did some of this stuff, we can try to cut our costs back a little bit too. We could, I don't think we get down as low as he does, but we could do it for less, but I don't think we could get it, I don't think we could go to less than 5-day-a-week trash.
One last quick answer, what's your earliest start date? I mean, I know we've asked to be able to start by November 1, but if we requested an earlier start date, how soon do you?
You remember the fire drill?
Yeah, I mean,
It's less than a day's notice.
I figured you could handle it.
So I can make it happen. I would rather be prepared for it,
Sure.
but if for some reason it needs to be bumped up, it won't be an issue.
Right. Okay.
So if you're saying that nobody gets a job,
Yeah,
I'll be here in the morning, I'll be here in the morning.
I figured that was your answer. I just wanted everyone to be able to know that.
I can be.
I'm sleeping
I'll be open, I'm comfortable with it, and, you know, of course, I was the one that talked to the other communities, and that glowing review, based on the bid he gave us and the glowing review from his customers, I'm good with it.
And if I didn't think that he had a good track record, I would make sure you knew that. If I, it won't be the same, but I think he can make our citizens happy.
Well, I agree.
And I think Mark acted particularly, it was caught on to some of the things that will still, there will be some grumpy people for a little bit, because they can't set their trash out at 9 a.m., which is what they've always done, because Phil came by their house almost always between 10 and noon, or something like that. But
Like he said, they'll get used to the new time before you know it, and
Just be happy.
it'll be just a different expectation.
and we will, their trash rate will go down if we hire Dane, and
Well,
a couple of dollars.
and I think we've seen it tonight. I mean, Mr. Love clearly has a cooperative attitude. I mean, that's why he has so many good clients. That's my opinion.
Would you care if we set the rate where we were making a little bit of money in the first year, knowing that you're gonna raise it 2.5% each year, and that, you know, so that we could hold the rate steady? I'm not gonna, if you win the bid, I'm not gonna charge people $17.25.
You can charge whatever you wish.
You don't.
As long as I'm getting paid what we agree on.
Yeah, you don't care.
I have nothing to do with the way the city prices
All right,
the community. Does that make sense?
that, I understand exactly what you're saying.
And if you're telling me, well, it's with most cities that do the billing, if they call our office, we tell them they have to call City Hall. We don't tell them prices, because why do we want to get in the middle of the city and the people that live in the city.
You're gonna provide this service to the city of Centralia for this
The
cost.
city tells me what to do, and I'll do what the city tells me to do. So if it's all set up with the billing going through the city,
Right.
if somebody calls us, we can either take the note, take care of them, turn it in to you, and it's up to you to tell them what they're gonna be charged or whatever the case may be.
Which, and gets to that other point, if you want to be in the position to have enough money to buy a truck, and we could charge, you know, not, I don't know, we could charge, based on this, we take all his service and don't do the yard waste, which is kind of what I'm hearing, and I'm not trying to push you in any way or another. We could leave the rates close to where it is right now, sell our 2 trucks, and, you know, by 5 years, have, you know, plenty of enough money to go buy trucks and get right back into business if we don't like the service. So we can hedge our bets that way too. There's nothing the least bit illegal about that.
That might not be a bad thing to do there. Then if we don't need a truck and he's doing his work, we could have a hell of a party.
There you go.
Well, we could have a street or something. We could,
Straight party.
We can pave a lot of streets.
That'd be, you know, I didn't realize you were doing it for 12 years in Mexico. I just assumed that's a long time.
well, and your dad has been doing it, trash
Since
collection.
75, since I was a year old.
Now, you said, all customers, everything would go through City Hall. Would that include like roll-offs and stuff? Everything now that come into town would go through City Hall?
Okay. The 6 customers that are not on.
That'd be up to you if you want, you can have them.
Well, are you willing to say, you serve some of them?
I serve everyone that you're talking about except for one.
Okay. And I don't
There would still be like some of the construction people that are hiring
Yeah.
roll-offs themselves.
Yeah.
Don't have to,
There's
I assume that would go through city too.
you know,
If
but
it's
if
in the
they're,
city
if they're
limits.
already,
the ones that have, the construction roll-off dumpsters that we have never done before, we have never, so there's a Clell container across the street.
would that,
They did that, we've let them do that independently.
I'm assuming from, if we do this from this point forward, they would no longer be doing that. They would have to go through the city.
And come to you.
Right.
For those dumpsters? Okay.
And it's one of the things, even with that,
Mhm.
you know the price that I'm getting,
Mhm.
you tack on what you have to take care of the billing or whatever the case may be.
That might be something, it's gonna take a little time to train everybody to do
Right.
that.
Right.
That could not.
So
happen
you're saying a
overnight.
contractor out of Columbia comes in here and builds a house, has gotta get a dumpster through Danes? Correct?
It would,
Yes.
that's what,
and you're, and the
What
price,
if he can get a cheaper price through Columbia because he uses the same guy over and over and over again?
Well, we'll have to,
I would think that on a situation like that, if they're gonna put it in writing that they're gonna beat the price that I'm charging, I'd have no problem with that.
it's negotiable.
Yeah.
Like, let's just say one
Because I
contractor,
had not assumed that would be sort of like the construction dumpster, that I had not assumed that you would.
That's why I put everything in the
Yeah.
bid as far as
Right,
all the pricing.
right, okay.
well, I guess for instance, like Reinhardt Construction, if they had something, every time Reinhardt would do something, they would have their own, and you'd already signed off on that. You wouldn't have to be,
Well, I mean, if they haul their own in their own.
Well,
truck.
if they own their own.
Like Montgomery City,
Yeah,
it's exactly the way that I'm describing this. I'm not saying you have to do that.
right, okay.
I just think it's best if it's that way, because whenever you bid on a job,
Right.
you try to cut everything as cheap as you can possibly do it,
Right,
but if you're getting a little bit of this and this,
right.
side jobs in town while
Right, it
while you're
helps that
here,
residential rate.
it helps
Right,
the total package.
right.
I'm gonna throw this out in Fulton, we had the same thing there, that we do our own roll-offs and everything, we have a lot of construction going on in there. When they come in with their own roll-offs, I have no problem with them as long as they never hit the ground. If they still leave them on the truck, they load them and pull them out, that's like a dump truck, that's fine. But the minute one hits the ground, that's when I'll be there and ask them to either put it back on the truck and we'll bring our own in. So there's ways of everybody being
And
able to
then
work.
that you solve the problem.
And I had that in there.
So who gets billed on that?
Well, if he wants us to do all the billing in the city, then they
So
would,
then they gotta set up an account through the city?
well, we'll have to work through this one, because this was, I
That's something you just have to be, it take a year to
Probably.
get mended out for everybody, yeah.
A lot of them would through, I mean, especially if they're doing new construction, they pull the permit, I mean, they've already,
right.
I mean, that fee could be, if they wanted, that could be on the permit. You know, if you need a roll-off dumpster, then that would just be added on to the permit
Well,
possibly, and then that dumpster would be provided.
probably
If
the person-
they check that option on the permit, then that dumpster would be provided. And if they don't check that option, then they're basically saying that they're not gonna have one.
I know that you're doing that in some cities. I'm not 100% sure we can insist on that
Regulate
legally,
that.
since we aren't providing that service now. What you're talking, the construction dumpster. But I'll look into that. We'll talk about it.
It's not gonna be a deal breaker either way.
Well, I can tell, I mean, the total volume of the construction, and you're winning a lot of it. There's a lot of your dumpsters out here already. I mean, I see when it comes to the majority of the construction dumpsters in a free market system right now, you're winning. So, it's not gonna be harder for you to make that, if you have the construction, if you have the rest of the service.
No, I
it's not
think
gonna
that
make that
if
any
the trucks
harder.
are in town and they see us and we're doing a good job,
Yeah,
they're gonna venture if they wanna call us anyway.
right.
In certain cases, they might not even know you exist and the service you provide.
I would agree 100%.
Let's take everybody to market that.
Well, like Landon said, you know, somebody from Columbia or something, I
know.
doubt they know Danes is even around.
Yeah.
They're gonna be using
You bring it up there the
A1,
same day, half the price, wow, I didn't know that, you know, that's.
Right.
And Fulton is a charter city and we're a fourth class city, so they can do some things that we can't. So I don't know if we can do what you're saying legally. Even if,
No, but I did put in there that anybody can haul their own.
yeah,
You just can't have another trash company come in and turn it into a charity.
I just didn't know if anyone was gonna make a recommendation tonight, or if they were gonna wanna meet again. 'Cause I have to leave.
yeah, oh, okay.
mark off tickets.
All right, yeah, I got
Have
tickets.
you,
Tickets to the show.
have you, written down your score sheet?
I had filled out my score sheet.
Okay. Then I'm comfortable that we could, the remaining four could make that decision since your scores are, you know,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you don't have to.
You name right now.
Yeah, it's okay, that's okay. It's okay.
Ragtag,
Yeah.
one showing, kind of thing.
Oh, cool.
Show.
All right, thank
Have
you.
fun.
See you guys. Thanks.
Do you want to make a recommendation tonight, or do you want to think about it some more and we don't have a meeting Monday night. We don't have a next scheduled meeting when you guys would all get together would be the 19th. So I would prefer to come up with a decision before then. We could meet a week from tonight. So we've got the 7 o'clock, we've got the,
Is there any way we can make it a Tuesday night?
normally, yes, that would be.
You all will be out of
prefer that.
town, aren't you, or something?
I won't be here. I'm out of town. I could come back conceivably
That's all right, I think Thursday be tough.
Tuesday next week. I mean, I don't know, would you need me? I mean, you could have the discussion now.
We really hate to say this, but we would. We really would, we really would.
Wednesday probably work better for me if we're gonna have.
Wednesday would work better for me too. Not Thursday, because we'll be setting up tents and stuff. How about you, Jim, Wednesday?
I'm ready to make a decision. But I don't wanna rush you.
I just think, you know, we all just be on the say, this is a long-term thing, and everybody sleep on it one more day, 2 days, and come back, and
Next Wednesday at 6.
I think that would be, you know what I guess that'd be this is a one-time pickup, yeah, we can make it tonight. This would be a lifelong relationship here, isn't it?
I hope so.
Yeah. I think it's worth another 4 days or something. How about Wednesday? Can you do it Wednesday?
I'll be back by Wednesday.
How about you?
Yeah, I'm good.
I mean, if you really want, I can come back by Tuesday too.
Wednesday would be fine. Thursday's just bad for me, but.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fine for me.
If you guys could sort of pencil in your scores so that when we get here, we can get them for next time, kind of, and then if you change your mind during the discussion next Wednesday, that's great, but kind of have an idea where you're headed. And any other additional questions you need answered by me or Dane, try and get them to me and I'll get them to him. Or for the city in our bid.
Okay, on a time frame, let's say we meet Wednesday and we agree to this, then it goes to the Board of Aldermen, and that'd be the next meeting, right?
Right.
And that's the 19th, and then the next day, I guess, and then what?
The agreement is he'd start November 1st.
Oh, we'd make that date easily, well, so then, why was he concerned about starting earlier? Was there a reason for that?
Jimmy retires October 7th.
Yeah, Jimmy. Yes, yeah. Jimmy retires October 7th, so we're gonna have to piecemeal.
So there'll be no sanitation crew. It'll be the street guys. I mean, it's for the rest of the month.
So what kind of start date you looking at? I mean, October 15th or something, I mean.
Yeah, as soon as if you guys decide that, yeah, I mean that's.
So what's that play for you? Well, I'm just making, I don't even know what day, October 15th, but
I'll be here when you tell me to be here.
yeah. That looks like a time frame if we, agree to.
If we're gonna prove it now on the 19th, if you make the decision on next Wednesday, what I can do is have an ordinance saying directing the. What I'd probably have to do is say direct the staff to draft a contract, and we'd have to hammer out the details of the contract. The final contract we'd probably have to do a recess meeting and approve that at the first meeting in October, which is, I believe, October 3. Yeah, October 3rd. So we won't let you start before October 3rd, but we could set it up to start as early as the 10th.
If we did all that, you're good. You're like, holy cow, they're
Well, if we approve it October
When you tell me to
30th,
be
it's
here, I'll
starting
be here.
October 4th.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, if we approve it the 30th, it starts the 4th.
You're gonna walk out there going, what the heck did I do?
Yeah.
It'd just be nicer to have, the sooner the notice the better, so I can get the sections of towns to get everything down to make sure I'm doing
Right,
everything on the same day that you're currently getting.
right.
So I
So
mean,
you
if
can do the 10th.
I mean, if you all decide the 19th and it's just a matter of figuring out the contract, he could have somebody up there
Right,
start
right.
doing ride-alongs.
Right, that's what I'm talking, yeah, if it's all but just hammering out the details, I feel confident.
Jimmy don't retire till the 7th,
Seventh.
so we could vote on it the 3rd. Jimmy could do it clear to the 7th, and he could start the 10th.
Yeah,
That'd give you a week?
Yep.
That'd be
well,
enough?
ideally, you'd give us direction to start the contract on the 19th.
Right,
You
so
could
based
start
on the
spending-
19th, I would know that I am starting
Yeah.
sometime early in October.
Yeah,
Yes.
We don't wanna make a hardship on you. That's why I can't go Thursday, because I did exactly what I'm trying to make you do. So why'd we do that? But, yeah, the hardship would be on you. I hate
I'll
to
take care of it.
put you in a situation where you start off on a bad foot, and then you've got all the, the older generation mad at you before, and we don't want that. I mean, that's,
After 3 weeks, I'll be happy.
you love this, don't you? All right, there we go. Next Wednesday, 6 o'clock.
So if all the complaining's not done in 3 weeks, then you're gonna start docking your pay? Taking pay off if they're still complaining?
I can't promise that, but I can guarantee you that after 3 weeks, it'll stop to a minimum. And then you're always gonna have that one, probably every other week, out of the blue, that says, they missed me. And we didn't miss them, but they missed us. As far as something like that, you're just never gonna
do you
get away
keep
from.
GPS, you have trackers on your contracts? You don't.
But once you learn the route, you
No, you know what,
You know, every
we had them
time-
in Fulton.
can.
It-
I mean,
Well, what we found in Fulton is, you can say, I was here at this time. Now, you can't say that you don't have a camera of the guy going out and picking up. I mean, if you have a vendetta against, if you had a truck driver with a vendetta against somebody that refused to pick somebody's trash up in a crazy world, yeah, you could drive by their house every day and prove that you don't buy it.
but with most of the towns,
Yeah.
you're lucky to get a call once every 6 weeks. You know, and if you're looking at 1,700 stops, you get a call once a month. That's pretty good, I think.
I mean, we're getting more than that now.
Yeah, that's true.
But you're gonna get them right off the bat until they know exactly when they're gonna be coming.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing is, for us giving the information out, it wouldn't be bad to have a little bit of a lead time saying, hey, October, and we'll work out the
Yeah.
details. If you, yeah. If we go,
If I gotta start and we gotta work out the details
Yeah.
after the fact, then we can do that too.
yeah. Well, we'll have, if we're starting October 10th, that's a real short window to get people used to putting their trash out at 5. But within a couple weeks, we can get it to 5, so. We'll work it out.
Yeah.
If that's the way we go. You guys, yeah.
Well, could you, first 2 weeks start at 7,